Welcome back to 45 News Utah, WSM 45, and West States Media, and others, guys. Others. So let's dig into the current events on this Sunday, September 26, 2021, and try to enlighten the soul with the uh, bobbleheads and the narrative of the mainstream media networks that are just so on top of free press and explaining the truth to the people. The people, they need the truth. So let's get into this. As I say this with a smile on my face, because we all know this is just complete and utter propaganda, to put it nicely. Thanks, by the way, YouTube, for allowing my last video to be aired. I do greatly appreciate it. Those of you that do watch the videos, a couple of you guys are awesome. I can't say much more. I don't even want to mention by name, in case some of this gets in somebody's hands and they're like, hey, that guy's, let's take his account down too. So just know that I'm glad you guys watch the videos. Thanks for watching. Anyway, let's get into this, shall we? So, CNN. Oh yeah, a town hall held a vaccine clinic for teens. Only one showed up. Let's should we read the writing on the wall, or should they just throw a bunch more money at it and see what sticks? Just curiosity, just because they I don't know how many people really want to go to this. Personally, when I'm called to a vaccine clinic, I'm going to probably kick and scream the entire way, because I hate needles. I literally would rather be shot with a bullet than stabbed with a needle. It's just me. Anyway, so moving on. Let's keep on the subject, guys, because this is the stuff you need to ingest for your Monday morning work week, if you're working. So let's get on this. Let's read a little more about this clinic and where it was at, so you guys can really keep that deep down inside of your psyche the rest of your Monday, as you're struggling to survive in the upside down world. This new woke place we live in now. Woke. Okay, the writing is on the wall. Why can't they read it? Teens aren't getting the COVID-19 vaccine even at the clinics meant for them. I just can't say it, guys. I want to come out and tell you my opinion. I want to just say one drastic thing about individual blah, okay? But I can't, because this is the way it is. So let's just sit here in awkward silence, and let's all just kind of just think about why these teens probably didn't go get, or do not want to get that done. It's pretty scary, because that thing is pretty persuasive to certain individuals, and depending on where they decide to stand on the line, these kids are making their decisions. I can't. Whatever. Their COVID-19 vax to school clinic in Randolph County, Georgia. You hillbillies, you. Their rural town of 170 miles, about 170 miles away from Atlanta, has not fully embraced COVID-19 vaccines, but the group clinics earlier in the year were popular. The groups in the beginning went to get vaccinated. The rest of them don't want to get vaccinated. I can't. I mean, I could, for a million, or a salary of $100,000 a year or $200,000 a year, so I can join this kleptocratic debt dollar theft of an economy. You could just shovel some money my way, and I will actually be somebody that does analysis for you, and it says, hey, well, wait a minute. This is probably why. That's, I could write it down in scribble, cedar high, handwriting. Should be a doctor. You just hand it, you guys sit there for a couple hours and be like, what did Rick just write down? Said, and I could be great. You guys would be like, hey, let's consult the analysis, the think tank for CNN. Why this happened? And I'd be like, hey, bros, this is the reason why. Blank, 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 blank. I'd be ran out of the town. They would probably, yeah, I'd be hung. I'd be like, yeah, the Taliban ain't got nothing up on you guys. Okay, bro. And so this is some crazy stuff. There's 12 to 17-year-olds. Georgia did this Randolph County. Yeah, they they didn't get vaccinated. Passing a Norm Macdonald, guys. That was a very sad day for me when it happened the other day. One of my favorites is Norm Macdonald, especially when he plays Jeopardy as Turd Ferguson. That's one of my favorite episodes. Just so you guys know, we need more comedians like that to get the rage against the machine, to kick back against it, and say, "Hey, this is what I think." So, yeah, going against the narrative is an awesome '90s thing. It was a '90s 2000 thing. We just all raged against it because we knew the machine was corrupt and it was eventually going to rear its ugly head. And those of you on the left can completely understand what those of us on the right or in the middle all understand completely. The machine is corrupt. It's lawyers. So put lawyers in charge. First problem we have with the government, the United States, is lawyers. Yeah, and if they're not lawyers, they have lawyers. So when you have to have lawyers backing everything you do, there's something usually wrong with what you're doing, or there's a possibility of a lawsuit. So, but when you're a lawyer or you have a law degree and you're elected as a representative, the people have no idea of what these people that are lawyers, what extent they'll go to if they're especially a criminal defense attorney, which is a part of the lawyer system, will do to get a guilty person off of a conviction of murder or other heinous crimes. So when we elect lawyers, people get in wrecks and they get seriously injured the rest of their lives. And lawyers take a big chunk of the money, and then they'll fight even for the person that did it on purpose, or that was liable, or the insurance company. Remember that next election, lawyers, get them out. Get them out. You don't need a lawyer to run a free country. You don't need those people with that type of behavior as representatives of the free people of America or any other country. You guys go through your representatives, look, lawyers, vote them out. Vote them out. You criminal proceedings they have been involved in. They've been involved in everything. Keep them out. If you did something wrong like that, but you was protected by the law, and you was this outstanding person that had business dealings that we won't probably talk about because most of those dealings are usually pretty corrupt as it is, the people elect you. No, they won't elect you. They'll be like, wait a minute, you stood by this person that's a murderer. You stood by this person that did that, a lawyer. Plain and simple. Anyway, so let's move on through the CNN murky waters. Behind the scenes of what one ex-FDA advisor calls probably the worst drug approval decision in recent U.S. history. I'm going to need some taller boots for this bullcrap. It's getting deep. Okay, Dr. Whatever Who Cares had been on an advisory committee for the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for half a dozen years, but he had never been to the meeting like this one. The FDA established an advisory committee to assist the federal agency with one of its most important duties, deciding whether to approve the distribution of a new drug. The stakes of these decisions are enormous. Based on the outcome of the FDA's decision, patients may gain access to life-saving medications and manufacturers may heap billions in profit. Oh, wow. 40% of the U.S. GDP is the healthcare. I mean, why are we worried? They lobby our representatives. They line their pockets. But you guys should really worry about this guy. This guy right here, this what's Aaron? Let's call him Aaron. Is so just off the cuff. This guy is just wow. Yeah. Ex-FDA guy. Okay, so what drug is this? They approved legal lab heroin. called Oxycontins. And if you don't know what Oxycontin is, apparently you've been living under a rock that's probably being doused with Oxycontins anyway through the rain and evaporation because it's everywhere. Oh, Oxycontin. Let's give you an Oxycontin. Let's give you Oxycontin. Okay. So it was let's see. It was November 6, 2020. Concerns the application for it was an Alzheimer drug. Okay. Not going to go any farther into that. We know this isn't anything to do with Oxycontin. This guy's the Alzheimer's drug, yada yada. I'm sorry I clicked on it. It's anyway, that guy Aaron got he's a whatever. Worst decision of his life. Grammys social Democratic Party wins most seats. Did I say Grammys? Oh my gosh. Germany's. Moving on real quickly. Let's move on. Cheney rebukes GOP critics. Trump doesn't believe in the rule of law. Your father, Dick, is still chasing those WMDs that didn't exist. So, good luck there. I mean, you can't blame a kid for the father's decision, but you got your political clout through your father. That's factual. It was your father that drug you up to that line in the Republican Party. Let's see. Opinion: Trump is 100% right about Stacey Abrams. Okay. Well, that's nice. Trump's FDA commissioner says this area could determine when Delta surge may end. I have not seen a new surge somewhere in some foreign country that's going to come blasting through like Delta did. Except for South America. We got to go through this again. Whatever. Remember post-pandemic. Now that it's post-pandemic, now that you kicked the recorder thingy, now that it's post-pandemic, American Recovery Bill, whatever, largest theft in human history. So those of you on YouTube, I did do a video on Facebook about the individual debt liability through the U.S. debt clock, the $480 whatever $1,000 debt every Haitian migrant has on its head when it crosses the border, and all the illegal aliens come through the border seeking asylum. You'll have $1,000,000 in your individual liability on national debt. Just saying, just so you guys on YouTube are caught up, your national debt, your individual liability to the Ponzi scheme and the massive corporate greed theft by these lawyers, law degree people, criminal career politicians is almost $500,000. That's your individual liability. But you're never going to have to pay that back, right? I'm just saying, it's not going to be you. It's going to be your great-grandchildren. When you grab your grandkids and say, I love you, just say, yeah. We'll talk about the national debt someday. But you're liable for it. It's called individual liability. So, good luck to the open border people. Maybe you should explain that to them in the pamphlet you hand out. Just saying. Let's see. COVID deaths are so high in this county that its coroner says they're hiring outside contractors. Let's see if this is an area like Idaho or Utah or Nevada, Arizona, wherever, Texas, where we have a mass COVID pandemic flood of remote workers and people that are retired to get away from the kleptocratic overtaxation and the massive insanity of the state called California, which is flooding our area and putting massive strains on all resources, including traffic, infrastructure, hospitals, doctors, dentists, all overstretched. They cannot keep up with the 10,000 people that have come here in the past year and a half. It is insane. They are bulldozing places everywhere, trying to build miniature houses for these people, taking down the local economy while they're at it and saying, oh, look at the great economy we're living in. Well, nobody can afford to live anywhere. Can't get an apartment. They've taken everything up with fake fiat currency from a year-and-a-half pandemic where the country is completely shut down. And they just, here we are with this great paycheck that is remote worker paycheck. Wait till they can do that same job in Pakistan. I'm just saying, how long is this going to last? But you'll get better broadband. That's so they can work remotely and make it so you can't afford anything. Anyway, on to the other news. But let's see where this place is, because if the amount of surge of COVID migration is, it's Idaho, one of the fastest growing states in the nation. So using the average intelligence of what happens when you influx, when you move in, pandemic refugees, rich refugees that just flood out of California like, oh, I got $1 million, I buy a house for free. I mean, I buy a cash only buy. That's the reason why. I mean, COVID's doing some of this, but you moved thousands and thousands and thousands of people into my town alone. Just you are not stopping. It's insanity. They're making more money than any of us make here, and they're buying everything up, and they're bulldozing everything, and there's investors in front of them buying everything else up and then reinvesting it, and they're just bulldozing and all, build little teeny 600 townhome apartments in rural America, and we have one hospital, one Walmart, much like Idaho. They're crushing the local hospitals. COVID's having an effect. Do not get me wrong on that. I've been through it, seen it. It's bad. But you're putting massive strains on your medical industry. You don't have enough nurses and doctors, to receptionists, to keep up with all these people that are flooding in. Just flooding in this great new woke world. I'm just saying. We have to delay surgeries. Well, hello, you just moved 25% of the population of Cedar City's grown in the last 3 years. 25% increase. You have to have a 25% increase in hospitals, 25% increase in the doctors. You have to have 25% increase in infrastructure. You have to have 25% more water. You have 25%. This is all related to the pandemic. It's all related. This is a huge, massive rush on everything. And when they say 25%, look at Washington County. They say southern Utah. They say, well, it has only grown by this much. Whoa, did you guys really think that's the truth? Because before that, you was already stretching the medical industry, which is 40% of the GDP, which is huge, to its brink. You was already, the healthcare throughout the West was diminishing. We witnessed this 2012 on. We haven't increased the amount of healthcare availability to citizens, and you got to do this in a huge way. I'm just saying. So they have to be forced to store bodies of COVID-19 victims' refrigerator. It's going to continue. COVID is absolutely not done with us. I'm just saying. It's just going to get worse. Want to help prevent more variants down the road? Get vaccinated, CDC director says. Not going to get into it. But as long as the virus is allowed to mutate, replicate, and pass through any host, whether any mammalian, could be a rabbit, mice, humans, it is going to mutate because it found a new home. Wait till it gets into mice. Never been in mice before. Oh, wait a minute, now it's in mice. Okay, we're in trouble because it'll mutate on its own. Just saying. 8 arrested on charges connected to the death of a 19-year-old VCU student. Okay, well, that sucks. 8 people arrested for the murder. It's going to be a video. And the CNN propaganda starts again. Whatever. Mind control. Amish warplanes and other stuff that they show for pictures. At the bottom. Let's see. Let's get into the opinion piece. The good news about Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine. North Korea says hope is alive for peace summit with South Korea. That'd be great. Painful. Jim Acosta rips Donald Trump's lies at Georgia rally. If that's the pain he's experiencing, he's not working hard enough. I'm just telling you, should work harder. Maybe. She's go do other stuff. Get some more pain. Pain is good, bro. Pain is good. Russia fighter jets escort U.S. Air Force bomber after it's reportedly approached Russian airspace. Stop it, Biden, you moron. Stop it. Stop it now. Bill Barr was right about this. Let's see what Trump that is. Is it to do with Trump? Oh, let's see. Let's see, opinion piece. Because it's opinion piece, they can do whatever they want. Attorney General Bill Barr appears before House Oversight Committee on July 28, 2020, Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C. investigation. In spring 2020, when there was still time for President Donald Trump to shift the focus of his re-election campaign, as Attorney General William Barr reportedly offered the candidate sound, if explanative, laden advice on the power and of modern suburban voters. Who cares? I'm trying to care. I'm trying to show that I actually care, but I don't, because this is all stupid. And that's it for CNN. That is your news. No laundry. No Brian Laundrie. No Laundrie killed Petito. 2 people were murdered and kidnapped. 2 women, and we hear nothing about this. Ooh, wonder why. Wonder why they're searching for Brian Laundrie on one of the local news stations, and they found another body of a male that matched the description, dead behind a dumpster behind a Walmart. You can look it up yourself. And that was it. They were like, "Oh, this ain't Brian Laundrie. Doesn't fit the narrative. This is stupid." Captivated the world. That's captivating. Wow. Laundrie killed Petito. Let's cover the Laundrie Petito. People are dying everywhere. There's Native American women have the highest rate of rape and abduction of any other ethnicity across the entire United States. Indigenous women go missing every day or every couple days. The smallest minority in the country. And nobody cares. Their bodies are found on a field. Some people care, but it's not national news. National attention. It's stupid. Why would you make Brian Laundrie that killed Petito such a big deal? Why would it captivate an entire nation? Be national news. I mean, it should be an article in there, yes, but not captivating. Let's take away from the $3.5 trillion bill that they're trying to cram down our throat, the largest theft in human history, with the $28 trillion unfunded liability debt, while they're stealing all the money. And let's talk about Laundrie and Petito. Their family, yeah, that sucks. Local people, that sucks. The rest of the country, it's not a big thing to us. I'm sorry she died. I'm sorry this happened. But this happens everywhere, and nobody cares. They don't get national attention during a $3.5 trillion theft bill that's with a $28 trillion debt we have, unfunded liability, with a $400+ $1,000, almost a $500,000 debt individual liability by every living American that has a Social Security number. But this is top news. Top news. You want to read about this, it should be in a little section over here, not at the top of the screen. The kid laying behind a dumpster at the Walmart that the local station they found. What about him? I mean, what about the 60 or 40 people shot in New York City every weekend? What about all the crackheads, drug dealers, people that are addicted to meth, heroin, that are abused? And what about the abuse happening in the deserts of Mexico, where people are being human trafficked, rape, murder, happening daily basis? Not one person. Hundreds of people at a time. Ask the millions that have crossed. How many people are laying out there in that desert because of border policy? To get them across the border so they have to share the national debt, their $400,000+ individual debt liability as an American. Who's saying that? What about all the indigenous women that are being abducted and murdered and raped? Does it matter? I'm sorry, Petito. I'm sorry. This happened to you in my state, southern Utah. But you was murdered up in the Tetons. But there was 2 women murdered down there in Kanab, down there by Kanab, murdered camping. National news? No. Why? Because nobody cares. Because this type of stuff, you go to local news outlets all over back east in the big cities, and it's murders, kidnapping, shootings, drive-bys, gangs, abuse, violence, every single day on every American street in those, well, most American streets in those cities. There's something traumatic happening. Turbulent twist. Bombshell recording reveals disturbing detail. Police were told before Brian and Gabby van stop. Before the van stop. What was there? Just. This should be an op-ed by somebody that's reporting on this. It was assigned to this, not the top of Fox News. Have you lost your ever-loving mind? A $3 trillion plus theft bill of the future dollars of America that's going to cause more inflation, because guess what, people? Inflation is devaluation of the U.S. dollar. Brian Laundrie and Petito are not worthy of the top story on one of the biggest networks the world knows, or the nation knows. Are we done? This is rude, but you have to get the propagandist on this. This should be a local or national story. Yeah, it can be a national story. But this isn't. I don't know. Watch anti-vax mandate protesters storm food court in Dam Run City. FedEx employees outraged by Biden supporters takes matters into his own hands. Okay. Scott rips liberal elite for not working with the GOP on police reform. Co-host reveals surprising cure after COVID test that pulled them off air. None of this matters. Are they afraid to post the facts that this is the largest theft in human history is happening through debt bills by the Biden administration? I just can't read it anymore. Liz Cheney, I was wrong to oppose gay marriage in the past. I'll say anything to stay in power. Millionaire Biden, use of S-corps draws scrutiny by a Republican who sees hypocrisy. Yeah, they're rich. The Bidens are rich. They're all rich. You're not a part of the economy. You think you're a part of the economy. You're just a little stepping stone in their economy. Your debt liability is what you're really part of the economy and how much they can borrow against you. That is it. Everything else, your fake houses, all the fake buildings, like my house, it's a piece of land with a bunch of plywood and 2x4s and drywall. It's nothing more. They're rich. Their wealth is huge. If they're saying they got, the Biden's got a bazillion. They got a bazillion on top of $1 bazillion. The Clintons billions. All of them billions. Every representative billions. They're all liars and crooks. Why we sway the symphony of destruction. Yeah. And the rest of it, you might as well just start throwing people into lion dens inside the coliseums, we're calling football stadiums, to watch the lions devour gladiators. Why? Then they could throw the bread at us and say, hey, here's you guys' bread. Thanks for the $28 trillion or the $89 trillion that's your unfunded liability debt. Thank you for that $89 trillion. Here's some bread. Watch the gladiators get ripped apart by lions. Because Rome 2 is worse than Rome 1. We developed this country, built this country with Roman symbols. And we don't realize that the Colosseum now is the computer and your phone. Yeah, as we sway the symphony of destruction. Doom and gloom, it was stuff that was talked about a few years ago. We had this, conspiracy theories. And, that's conspiracy. What's happening in the last 2 years now is beyond anything that any of us could fathom, even in fake and in fantasy of the future of America. Look at 2021. I'm saying 2022. There is any of us that's been here, that are in our 40s, 50s. We're looking back, going, we rebelled against the system. We had Cold War. We had the Soviets against us, and we were, we had to trained for thermonuclear wars, kids, to how to hide during a nuclear war. We were waiting for rockets to fly in, missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, to drop on our heads. That's when we went. Then the Berlin Wall came down, and we thought everything was going to be good, but we kept raging against the machine, rock and heavy metal. So they changed the narrative, kicked out all the rock, kicked out all the metal, and started, like MGM are responsible for this type of decay of society. They brought in gangster rap and rap. Yeah, that's the hood. I mean, why would you want to keep the population pissed off at the kleptocrats that have been controlling and stealing everything from day one? Why would you? Now just make them all, thugging and bumping down the road, want to be gangster G's. I mean, it might piss a few people off, make a couple people offended, but I really don't care, because we started this movement against the government. We started pushing back against them. The normal businessman, we were always like, whatever, bro. We had the life. We wanted our freedoms. We didn't want to be sacrificed to the corporations. Pink Floyd, Welcome to the Machine. It's like we didn't want to be there. And what we ended up doing was empowering them to change the entire generational music to this garbage. I mean, watch the stars walking around on Spotlight with wearing lampshades, and it's these music stars. I mean, come on. We know where we went wrong is we allowed corporations to control the narrative. They controlled the country instead of pushing back and saying we have morals. We're going to fight to stop the theft of our children. Instead, they brought out doctors loaded with Oxycontin and said, "Here you go," and flooded the streets with ice, which is meth. And then the doctors were the pill pushers. And they passed those things out. I had prescriptions in front of me. Don't tell me that's not true, because don't say that's false or fake information. Because I was offered a million times, a couple times, and I know people, everybody I know, that got addicted to that crap. The doctor gave them Oxycontins. The doctor gave them Somas, Neurotins. They did this. We pushed, they brought out Oxycontins. The miracle pill to save all the pain that was basically the downfall and destruction of us, our generation, that we pushed back. Now, I've known so many people have died of it. Just insane amount of people. Good people. The suicides because of the drug epidemic. Just insane, guys. I had friends that were stuck on it, and one fell off a roof. Spent 20 years on that crap. He died of other causes, but it just... I see people went to high school with metalheads, rockers, they're on the side of the road, look like a drool coming out of their mouth, that they survived. The drug addiction targeted the American people who were pushing back against these guys. We did this. We did it. We brought the wall down, and we had a fight united against the kleptocrats, and look what they did to us. Anyway, thanks for watching 45 Days Utah. It is getting really late, and I hope you guys have a great Monday. And stay safe, stay sane, and remember, don't drive like a pissed off teenager. Try to be courteous to people in front of you, because wherever you think you're going fast, as fast as you go, you could end up going there in a casket, or going somewhere else. So stop driving bad and respect your fellow humans, because whether or not they're drinking the Kool-Aid, they're all gonna go down with the rest of us. It's just kind of like a sinking ship. Don't blame them. They're just they're swaying to the symphony of destruction. Check out Megadeth's video. Have a good night.